I guess we are live.
I can see a comment from LinkedIn, I guess.
Right. It is,
Yeah,
let us wait for a couple of more minutes and let us
sure.
have some people adding and then we can talk. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Awesome. So I think we can start.
Okay, sure.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody had a very relaxed quarantine weekend. Although we're not really keeping a count here. So, guys, I'm really, really glad to bring to you another very candid AMA session here with one of our mentees, Kumar Saurav. So, Saurav has been a part of our maiden batch, our batch for April 2019, and he's currently working with Lido Learning. Uh, I'm going to probably send it over to Saurav right now for his introduction. But just a quick side information, probably that he has a lot of parallel interests. He's learning graphic designing, he's learning piano, and he's also been an active performer in open mics. Um, so we're looking forward to probably some fun stories, something fun here as well, probably in the end. So yeah, Saurabh, over to you. You can please go ahead with your introduction here.
Hey guys, I'm Kumar Saurav. So currently I'm an SDE at Lido. So I brought up in Patna. I born there. So in Patna, Danapur Kant, it is a small city, you can say. And uh, my family is like my father is a shop owner and my mother is housewife. So yeah, this way life got started, and I had done my schooling from KV, so Kendriya Vidyalaya Danapur Kant, and then I completed my BE from UIT Bardhawan, which is under Bardhawan University. Then after that, I got into Lido from the referral of Scaler Academy.
Okay, okay. Let me just quickly add in for people who are joining in right now that the structure of this AMA would be we'll be having the first 15 to 20 minutes of interaction, and we'll try and understand more about Kumar Saurav more about his journey, how he began, how his childhood had been like, more about how he got to know about law and everything. Sir, there is a little disturbance from your end. I guess some traffic.
Okay, okay, let me check. Wait.
Sure.
The disturbance is over now, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it's very
Okay,
clear. I guess it's clear for
okay,
everybody.
fine. Actually, my home is at roadside, so you can hear a lot of noises from vehicles. That's why.
Okay. How is the quarantine scene there? How is it like? Are people really following
So
the?
I just landed today at my home, so there is no quarantine at all. Like no. So
Oh,
yeah, this is the situation right now here. Like
oh,
back in the Mumbai, when I was in the Mumbai, it was total quarantine. Like people were not moving on the streets, but here, like in the Patna, it is not like that. Like everything is going on.
okay. All right, so talking about the session's agenda and the structure for it, for everybody who's joining in, we try dedicating a good 15-20 minutes talking about how sort of started with his tech journey, probably how was he like as a kid, and was it always his childhood dream and everything. We'll try talking about more of how he improved, how he was performing, how he got to know about Scalar, and later in the later half we'll be more than happy to take all the questions we can get, right? So let's quickly start. So sort of over to you. Where did you spend your childhood? How was it like? I mean, was it always there very clear on paper that you always wanted to go out for computers? Was it always your first fascination?
So, like remembering about my like interaction with computers. So I got interaction in class third when I was in a private school, Don Bosco. Not that brand Don Bosco. It is just a small school, you can say.
Yeah.
So that was school. So I got introduced. So just we used to write our names and then press backspace. So that's all about that. And then the computer quiz happened. I just nailed into it because I was lot interested in computers. So I started learning over there. So in class third, that was then I got admission into the Kendriya Vidyalaya.
Mhm.
So in Kendriya Vidyalaya, like there is not a lot of computer education and like not a good quality of computer education. So from sixth class they start educating you about computers. But 6 to 10, what happened? Every year new teacher came. They started from the scratch that okay, this is RAM, this is ROM, this is Paint, this is this. Then again the in seventh same thing happened, eight same thing happened. It went on. So I started losing my interest that there is nothing
Yeah.
new to. So no. So and I always fought like we have a like very economical position. So we were not in position to buy laptops or PCs for. But I always fought with my parents that I need a laptop or PC because I just want that. I want to do something over there. So but I didn't get that. Then in class 10th, what happened that a teacher from ITI college get into our college. So
Okay.
he started doing something else. So he started like teaching about HTML pages. So
Right.
when he started, so he just gave me few tags. So so I back then I didn't have internet. So I just bought someone like borrowed someone mobile, just searched all the tags that can be possible in basic HTML, just write down into my notebook and went to the college school. And then just in the computer lab I just tried designing web pages. So that was like first experience with the. Then I got Java like information practices in 11th and 12th. So it like it was more kind of interaction with computers, and it got me interested more and more. But the whole idea of the computers changed when I went to the college, because like the curriculum, I have thought that software should look like that and look like this. The whole idea got changed when I went to the college. So yeah, this was the first interaction.
Okay, talking about college, like how was the journey to college like? Was it easy? Did you appear for exams? How did you got introduced to your college? Did you appear for some competitive exam?
Okay. So uh, I appeared for J Mains once in 2014. Then I wanted to sit for another attempt. So back then also, like everybody said, so I was wanted to self study. So back then also, like people, when I went to the coaching institutes for, okay, I want to do self study, so they told me your marks will deprecate instead of increasing if you do self study. So I said, okay, let's see, but I want to do my own self study and make my own strategies of learning. So after that, I started doing that, and like I got a decent mark in JMINS, but due to not like I didn't got a lot of percentage, because CBSE percentage rule was so high that 83 was not enough for that going into a good college. So back then I applied for BHU, and I applied for WBJ. So in WBJ, I got this college UIT Bardhaman, and in BHU I got a rank around 200, but the computer science seat was full, and I filled the form. So I just filled for two, like computer science with statistics and computer science with math, physics, and chemistry. So professor asked me that, hey, don't you want any other subject? I said, no sir, it's not about the brand, it's all about the subject that I want to study. So that's the thing. So then so he told that, okay, you can get admission, but you need to wait. But I don't wanted to wait. Also I applied to bit like BIT Patna, that is Birla Institute of Technology. So I filled the form, and when I get back to the college, I just downloaded his brochure and like checked, like I just first of all asked them whether I can get admission into the computer science or not with my rank. So they told me, okay, I think it is eligible. So I just downloaded the brochure, and the after seeing its fees, so I thought like I need to sell my house to just do the engineering there. So that was kind of thing. So it is kind of like semi-government college UIT Burdwan. So fees are a bit cheaper there.
Okay, okay. All right. So then you decided to join Bardhaman University. So talking about the struggles that probably you would have had since you coming from a comparatively smaller town, how was it like? How was the support from your parents like? I mean, was it easy? Your education in 11th or 12th standards when you were approaching your JE preparations. How was it like?
So first of all, choosing a computer science background was quite difficult for me, because like most of the people either want a government job. So that was the kind of thing here. Like my all relatives are saying that, why do you want to join in computer science? You can either take like four of the core branches which have government jobs, or like you can go for preparation for some government jobs rather than just getting indulged into this computer science. So but I was interested. I convinced my parents somehow that, see, this is what I want to be in, like I want to do something in computer science, so that's what I want to pursue for the like my lifetime. So that's how I somehow convinced, okay, then parents, okay, you know better. So just they supported me with all they can.
Okay, okay. All right. Talking about probably how did you got to hear about Scaler, and I'm really excited to know about what was your first reaction towards. I mean, an idea like Scaler Academy. Why am I asking this? Is probably because you were the part of the first batch ever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, what resonated? Why did you feel like, okay, can I go for it? What was your first idea, like first impression of Scaler Academy?
So my first interaction with like competitive programming or such things, so we started. So when we went to the college, so there was nothing, like no coding club or anything, nothing. So there was no environment of programming back there. Like you can see, like big colleges have their environment, so people can excel there and see other people grow, but we don't have that. So I just got, but I have an interest in computer science, so I got some good seniors to interact with, and we started a club
Oh,
naming Codebird. So we
mhm.
started from there, and a lot of people started joining there. So we started a movement, and then from second year onwards I started a bit of competitive programming, but not very like intensely. So after, because I didn't know where to go from, like still like we were having, okay, this is something then we can rely upon, but we don't know where to go. So we I started, then of course like people hear a lot of bubble words like machine learning, and of course gate is there. So everything was there, and I was just roaming around there, like between them, like switch to machine learning, then switch to gate, then switch, then back to again competitive programming, and it was happening. So this was my situation. So I remember I was preparing for gate. February was the month, and so February March was the month, and I just returned from an interview, and then my friend asked me in the hostel that okay, hey Saurav, if I give you a 7 lakh job, so would you like left preparing for gate? I told him that, see, this is a quite a good package, and my family would love to have that, and also I would love to have that. So definitely I can think about it. Then again next morning he introduced me to this proposal, and which was a postpaid model. Okay, so that, okay, if you get a job of this package, then only we will pay, like you can pay that this amount. So I thought, हे ये लोग लंगड़े घोड़े पे पैसा लगा रहे हैं क्या? क्योंकि मतलब कोई क्यों ही कोई किसी को जानता तक नहीं है, कोई पोटेंशियल जानता तक नहीं है, ठीक है? सो हाउ कैन दे लाइक रिलाई अपॉन सच स्टूडेंट्स, ओके दे कैन क्रैक दैट पोटेंशियल. So we doubted on that, but still like it was also, I just stopped preparing for that. I just practiced my CP for like 5 days, and just I gave the entrance test. That fingers crossed, let's see what is going to happen. And then a result came, and I got into Scalar Academy.
Okay, okay. All right. This is interesting. So, like, how has it been like after joining Skater? I mean, you. How was the structure like? Basically, what really attracted you towards the program? How do you? Talk about instructors, the things that you've learned here, both about the curriculum as well as the structure outside it.
So the most interesting part was the, so like people solving who are into DS algo, they can solve problems. Okay, they can solve the questions as well. But the problem is that they can't give the proof of that solution, like most of the students. So this is the problem, that where you can think of the problem from scratch, and how do you build your intuitions over there. So this is kind of thing I learned from Anshuman sir, that okay, when he was teaching us, so he always taught that, okay, how to think about it from the scratch. So this was the really great thing for me to, okay, how do you build solutions, not just try and hit, okay, this will going to work. So this is the most important thing. The second best part was celeb talks. Like I never got interaction with like any of the like the people who are like at top positions in this tech world. So but with this, the help of Scalar, I got interaction with them, asked them my question. So all of them was really helpful, like, and they showed the bigger vision rather than just seeing the shorter vision. Okay, this is your shorter goals. So that's how like improved me. That's what like inspired me to be in this field more and more.
Okay, okay. You mentioned about Anshuman sir here and a few
Yeah.
topics. What were the few of your favorite topics or topics that you really gained command on, that probably were not very strong with, because you have been doing competitive programming even before
Yeah.
that. So the topics that probably you gained more confidence on.
So some of the topics are like advanced data structures like trie and of course like tree. So advanced tree are there. So there is more square root decomposition. So these are the topics that I gained a lot of things. And of course the system design part, I never like learned in my college that what is system designing and how it works and how do you design systems. And I am very fortunate that when I learned about this, I got in a company where I can apply all these things. So that was the very wonderful part, that beforehand I got to know, okay, these are the load balancer, how servers work, how you design systems when you want to scale. So this was the most like valuable thing for me.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So, so do you like probably recall a moment from your class or from your mentor sessions, wherein you felt like, okay, this piece of guidance is something that I need to keep with me all throughout my life. Any such moment you had, or any guidance that was given to you during the
So
classes?
first of all, like uh so these are the things like whenever Ansuman sir and of course Abhimanyu sir, so he always took a session on like how to deal with the interviews, how to crack the interviews, and how to like make yourself calm and everything. So this was the interview preparation that like very few people will tell you. So these were the very important key roles that will play into you while you are interviewing for something. So that was, and of course the salary negotiation part, how do you negotiate your salaries. And of course, so this was the quite important part, because when I was interviewing for Lido, so they asked me expected CTC over there, and I just quoted around you can say half of the current my current CTC back then.
Oh, okay. And I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
All right, all right. Yeah, please continue.
So yeah, so I just quoted because I didn't know what is my worth and how can I just like what should I say, because did do they mention their CTC? So that what CTC they are going to give, but for Lido CTC was not mentioned. And just when they asked me about the that what salary do you expect, so I just mentioned half of the salary that I get now.
Okay. Uh, Talking about, okay, just a second. I'll take a moment and address a couple of,
Can you
I
hear
guess,
me?
yeah, it's audible this side, but I guess there's a little issue with your network. Uh, I guess the screen is a little freezed. I'll move to the audience, and probably the viewers can let us know if Saurav is completely visible to us. I guess he's joining in. There must be some network issue. Yeah. Um,
So
I guess he's visible now. Yes, Saurav. Uh, so there are a couple of people who are really appreciating your journey here. And there's Devjit Datta. If I'm not wrong, he's again a fellow scaler. Uh, then there is Mr. Brahmanand Kumar Ray. He is very happy to see you here and he's congratulating you. Um, yeah. All right. I guess we will definitely move to the questions in the next 5 minutes. Guys, please be ready with your questions. Just before that, I want to understand how is it now after joining Lido? How do you think? is the journey like? I mean, so much so that you like you joined Scalar, you completed the program, you learned a lot of things, and now you are already there out in the real world. You're making, I mean, you're developing software, and you're probably doing something really good. How is the journey there at Lido at the moment?
So when I get into the job, so the keywords I got bombarded with, because I didn't heard those keywords in my lifetime. So keyword that I got bombarded with was very huge and very new for me. So I always, like, for like continuous 2 months, like, I was in the probation period. So I called my friends that, hey, I think this is the last day of my job, because I don't know how to go along with that. So also, in the meanwhile, I called Bhimanyu sir, that how to proceed further, and he guided me along with that how you can proceed further, what should you be looking for. So that was quite a thing. And also, so then back then I just started putting my effort day and night to learn everything, to just push me through that bar, and that quite worked for me. So, like, in around 3 months to 4 months, I just learned most of the things that is going to work in the organization. So that, then again, after that, like, the journey is quite smooth now.
Awesome, awesome. All right, good to hear that. Also, sort of talking about probably, you must have definitely interacted with a couple of other mentees. I can see a few there already. How, I mean, I'm sure, have you made any new friends while studying at Scalar here?
Yeah, of course, like, a lot of people are there. So one is Hemant Dhanuka, of course. He was in the scalar in the same batch. I got interaction with Naman also. So
Right.
and a few people more. So, and also uh, Vibhu, and then Aditya. So these were a couple of people that I got interaction with, and they are quite helpful. And so yeah, I got a interaction and make friends there also.
Awesome. Just wanted to understand. I mean, I'm sure you've had friends uh, even before in your college and everything. Since we're progressing towards more of our professional careers, it's believed that the friend circle, your internal circle, tends to become a little smaller over time. What do you think are the kind of people you've had, or the kind of people you've interacted with here after joining Scalar? I mean, what are the common traits, if you can brief them?
So, so the most common trait was they are very inspired to do something. So they are knocking it down, like, putting their efforts, and that quite was inspiring, because it doesn't, like, feel like very much competitive, but it more feels like supportive in nature. So, like, if you got stuck here, so there is some people that you can discuss with your ideas and everything. So they can, like, bring the very granular errors, or like very granular things from your ideas. So that was quite very helpful for me to to have a discussion with those people. So for same motive they are going through, and they have the same inspiration and motivation. So yeah, this was the really great thing that I see, and they just, like, they have been consistent over there. So this is the one thing that I have seen, that they never gave up.
Right, right. Awesome. I think we can probably talk about one very major pillar here is a mentor. So, for all of those who do not really know, a mentor is one of the pillars at Scalar Academy, and he is an industry expert who is coming from some really good tier, some top level tech companies, mentioning about maybe LinkedIn, Netflix. There are mentors from Microsoft, Flipkart, Google, and all the top startups as well. And you have a one-on-one interaction with them, and they guide you. So, talking about your mentor sessions, how is your mentor very helpful for you?
So mentor was quite helpful. He's right now in Mindtical at a senior position. So of course, like, so he shared his journey, that because there is a lot of ups and downs in the journey that you are following. So choosing a mentor that he can discuss personally with you, that what journey he has been through and how he has overcome the same problem that you are facing now. So or he can help you to with his advice or something else that you can come up with. So these are the important advices, and also like how to grow in the career, what you should be looking for, and what are the things like before insight they can give you about the industry, that how is their work now, and you can get some insights from there and learn from there, that okay, these are the things that is present in the industry.
I have this one question for you.
Yes, sure.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible now.
Awesome. Uh, sort of like all through the journey as well, you've never really given up.
Yeah,
Summarize your journey. You've never really given up, even whether it was during.
I think there is a problem from audio side.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
okay, now you are audible.
All right. So I just wanted to know if you personally have any idol, anyone who you really really look up to or you really inspire, and if you think that your idol needs to be from your own domain, from your own profession. Do you have any such idol?
So of course, Ansuman sir and Abhimanyu sir are such idols, and of course, I do admire. Like I still tell my friend that he's a god, and God is solving our problems. So that is the thing that we used to talk in IB Academy and Scaler. So that whenever, because uh, a person from like, because we used to ping him for very small errors, that's I got stuck here, and he used to figure out very quickly that okay, this is the error, so you can figure out that. So this was the quite small things. And of course, before, like I got offers from few companies like EPAM and TCS, and so leaving those companies and sitting for a few months after college, so that was a hard decision. So I just mailed Ansuman sir that, sir, this is the situation, and what should I do? I don't know what to, like I can join there or I can drop from there, and just, so he just like give me a mail back and just told me to have patience, and like that was the kind of thing that like he got me remember about my like potential that I possess, and just he believed on me so that I can go further.
Awesome, awesome. All right, I guess that's about it from my side. We'll be looking forward to questions. So, guys, okay, we can probably start with the set of questions that we have. Since we joined in first at YouTube, we'll start with questions from YouTube, and then we can probably move on to LinkedIn. So, there is Hemant Kumar who's asking you to share your experience at Lido.
Okay. So as I told, so when there are a lot of tech stacks to learn, and like so Lido was in very initial state. It's been like 2 to 3 months, and they have started just a new version of their platform. So I got to work there from scratch on everything, like most of the things that works in organization. So I got to learn about those from scratch. So this was quite a good experience. And also, like the people I have there, they have very good knowledge about the domain, and like they are very like qualified people. So having people, such people around you who can motivate you and like work with you, this is a quite a good thing that I was looking for. And so that's what I got in the Lido. So it was a good experience for me, I can say, as a fresher. Like whenever I tell people that I have learned these things, uh, that in very few times, so they sometimes they do get amazed by that. Okay, how did, like you have already learned a lot of things, but these are the opportunities that I got in Lido. a lot
All
of
right.
learning.
All right. There's another question from Hemant himself. He asking about whether to choose. I guess he's asking Hemant, if you could elaborate a little more on your question. He's asking DSA versus competitive programming.
So maybe he is asking about DS algo versus competitive programming that is being asked in the interviews. So yeah, interviews quite questions are do different from what you solve in the competitive programming, because there are a lot of restrictions and there is very less constraints rather than in competitive programming. So this is the thing. But definitely you can either get started, but you have you need to have something in your resume that can spark. Either that can be some very good projects or some open source contribution or some competitive programming rank, so that will spark you. But in the interview, these things will be just put aside. These are all for getting your interviews. After that, like within the interview, the DSA part will work. So that is how things goes.
All right. So moving on to the next question, we have it from Abhishek. He says, "Hello, sir. Right now, I'm doing competitive coding. Would you tell me the right path so that I can get a job in a good product-based company like Amazon?" So it's basically asking for guidance on how can he approach competitive programming in a better way and to get a better job at a product-based company.
So I guess there are a lot of platforms like CodeChef and HackerRank, Hacker Earth, of course, Code Forces. All these platforms are there. So I found like CodeChef long challenge you can start with, because you get a lot of like time to solve these problems, and you can start with the basic things. Then you can move to the next level, and then you can perform in short contests. So these are the thing where how you can continue, and wherever, so you can mention down the problems there that you have faced difficulty in, and you can just search or work on those topics. The second thing is uh, doing the like up solving the problems, means when the competition is over, are you solving those problems where you got stuck, or the uh, problem that you haven't solved yet. So this is the thing that will drive you to a next level. So if you keep this all in mind, so you will grow in competitive coding. Also for like Amazon, you can in the meanwhile, or whenever you get free time, you can solve their interview questions. So that will like get you a best shot in the Amazon interviews.
All right. Moving on to the next question, we have it from Rohan Gupta. So he's asking, um, apart from DSA, core CS subjects versus web development. Apart from DSA, what are the core CS subjects uh, with the web development projects for placement?
So basically, I think he want to know about like apart from DSA, what things are there.
Yeah,
So one thing is, of course, you need to have a better knowledge of core CS subjects, like how networking works, because how operating system works. You know, need to know the basics of that. That's all. You don't need to very deep down into that, because nobody is going to ask that. So just have the basic knowledge of core CS subject that you have learned, because uh, at the end of the day you will be like, when you work on web dev projects, so when you work on optimization, you need to work on all these things that is in there in core CS subjects. So of course you need to have basics, and then you can of course do some good web dev projects which can like put you apart from the crowd that is there.
all right. Moving on to the next question. There are a lot of questions from Sneha Verma. So, addressing to those, she's asking, I cannot build up my interest in data structures and algorithms. What should I do? I mean, that's I think a
Okay.
very a
Okay,
very,
so most of the people do find that. So, Sneha, what you can do, and for most of the people who don't find interest, so see, how do you find interest? It's all about are you motivated to do things? So the thing is, you can start build your projects. Okay, build some projects for your own problem solving, not for others, because solving your own problems will drive you. So build some projects, small projects, and then try to optimize that. And then you can think about, okay, how can I optimize that? Then where the data structures and algorithms will come into play. If that drives you to like have interest in there, so that will give you an interest in learning data structures. Why should I learn? Because why is very necessary. That why should, so people start learning, but they don't know what these things will do. So better know about that, and you can start building some small projects and work on there, and from there you can start gaining interest into the DS and algo part. So and web dev projects are so, because while solving, most of the people don't get interest into that, because you just need to solve and you don't see anything. But while developing something, while you are developing a website or a app, so you do something that is going to work in your mobile phone, or you can show to someone, some friends, because you can't show your code like to all the friends, but you can show your website or something like that, your projects there. So this will drive you and have interest, will help you in gaining interest in data structures and algo.
And that was a very good explanation. So I guess it answers her question. She has an extended one that she's unable to find her goal, and she's a little confused. It can have if you have a word for her. I mean, that's an
So
extension of the question.
I think better way to finding a goal, like you can find first of all your interest, and back on the interest, like which things are there that you want to pursue for life. Because see, you can pick up any goal, but if you can't pursue for the lifetime, so that is not going to work, and you will be just getting frustrated every day and day. So this is the whole lot of thing that you should consider while like considering a goal in your mind. So there are two things: the potential that you have, and the goal interest that you have, and see where they can match. And then you can start, of course, draw the key parameters on which you can decide. So what are the things that, how things look in that industry, how things look in that industry, and then you can draw the conclusion that okay. And see, you can't so most of the decisions people go wrong. But what you can do, you can just start exploring rather than very thinking deeply about that, because in exploring maybe you can gain interest in something. So that is the key thing.
Right, right, definitely. So the next question here is from a LinkedIn user. He's asking whether to choose between a well-established product-based company versus startups products, which is better to start a career, and what is the best way to prepare for startups, product-based companies. I mean, basically, I asking what is the which one would you prefer for a beginner who's starting out their tech career, and what is the best way to prepare for both of them?
So depending upon the perspective of people, that how fast they want to code. So in product based companies, when you go there, so there are a lot of procedures and everything. So you are not working as a whole, so you don't know the whole system at all. So you just know the very small piece of that product, and you are working over that, but you are excelling in that part. But here in startup, what happens is you need to learn a lot of things, a hell lot of things. And these things, so based upon what work do you want to pursue, and how do you want to go about in your life. So there are of course perks. And so in startup, a very high learning growth, but a less perks than product, like very like well established product based. But there is a lot of learning, you can build your own products. So if you are looking for uh, building your own startup or something, and at your own, not from others, so you can join a startup. Or if you want to have of course a brand name, or well excel in that path, so you can do that. Best way to prepare for startups, product based companies. So one thing is always that like they will judge you on mainly DS and algo. Of course the tech stack they are working, so you can like target some startups and or the general startups that have the tech stacks in more general, like Node.js, React. Some things are there that every startup starts working on, so you can learn about those tech stacks beforehand, and this will help you in cracking interviews more.
All right. Moving on to the next question. This is from Manik Kushu, and he's asking DSA best steps to take ahead and how to proceed with Scaler. So, what do you think are the best steps to start preparing for DS algos?
So so basically either you can start with just solving like topic based questions. Just go to any platform and you can start even in the interview bit. You can start from very basic questions, or on other platforms like CodeChef, Hacker Earth, Hacker Rank. So you can start from any platform. Don't bother much about the platforms that you are doing, because people do bother about that, but it is not going to work. So don't start with any platform. Start with basic questions, very basic questions, then start participating in the competitions, because that is how you learn things. Because you can search about things in the meanwhile, but in competitions you do go questions which are very new and you don't get solution in on the internet. So this is the thing that you should be prepared for, and you can go ahead. Similarly, for cracking scalar you need a bit knowledge of DS and algo. So because there, with increasing competition and with increasing participants applying for scalar, so competition is going to a bit tough. So better be prepared for that too.
All right, moving on to the next question. It is probably a review for Scalar. Do you think is it worth enough to pay a good amount of money for just interview preparation? So, do you think the fee structure for Scalar is like justified? What is your stand on it?
Okay, so first of all, see, it is postpaid, so they are relying on your performance. First thing is that maybe you don't perform and you don't give any money, so there is a huge loss over there. The people they are paying, and very high quality people they are paying. So this is one thing. And this is not for the, like for me it was not for the interview preparation, because I build a personal relationship with Abhimanyu sir and the whole Scalar family, so that this will like be aside for me, or like be with me for my whole career. So because I can talk to him that okay, I am facing this problem now, this problem now. So it is lifelong relationship that I am building. And second thing, the things I have learned, it is not about the cracking interview. I already like applied most of the things, and how these things work in the industry. So these are the very worthy things that you can think of that. And if you are getting enough money paid, see, so I think there is no harm in like paying that.
All right. Moving on to the next question. This one's from Abhishek Kumar. He's asking, he has a proper structure. Data structures and
Okay.
algorithms, one programming language, lead code, system designs. Is that sufficient?
For cracking most of the interviews, yes. Some of the interviews might ask you about the projects, so this might get you in trouble. But most of the interviews, if they are focused on only problem solving, so this is quite sufficient.
All right, all right. Moving on to the next question. This one's from Munish Grover. He's asking about what are the level of DSA questions that you faced in your interviews. So, the level of DSA questions that a person should prepare.
So mostly in interviews, people do ask medium level of questions, and depending upon the company you are preparing for. So that might differ to hard, but hard questions need more time, and in 45 minutes or 30 minutes, they do give medium level problems over there, and you need to solve it within the time. So that is the level of question people or I have faced mostly in the interviews.
All right. There's another review question. Sanidhya Bavar is asking, how do you rate Scaler Academy out of 10 in terms of your learning, assuming you have no prior knowledge about programming? So, how do you rate Scaler out of 10?
So So I would rate approx like 8, because like that is the thing. So knowing the computer, so knowing about competitive programming was one thing. But after that, if I just delete everything, so what I learned, what I have learned building intuitions, I got like very good people to work with, to discuss with. So there are very like very much things that I can talk about, that how people were there and how do we get classes. So these were the kind of thing, the ideas that we share, how system design works. So these are very quite valuable things that I learned from scratch. Of course, the one part was the when the hackathon happened, so I got to learn very initials of React over there, which was very important for my interview. Then the second thing was, of course, the Git part that I use in my day-to-day things. So these are the things that I learned from Scalar. So yeah.
All right. Um, Moving on to the next question. This one's from Shabin Joseph. He's asking, which is the best platform for beginners for competitive programming? Best platform for beginners for competitive programming.
So for me, like I started with CodeChef long challenge, but so basically, but you need to have a basic knowledge of like arrays and everything. So, but the first question, of course, you can start with like CodeChef long challenges, and then you can deep dive into other platforms. But first, I would prefer you to go on CodeChef long challenges, because you get a plenty of time to solve, and the first few questions are very easy, so you can solve there.
All right. So we have uh, two similar questions from Ankit Tiwari. He's asking what was the DSA level questions asked at Lido? And again, same question is please say the level of difficulty of DSA questions asked. So basically, they're asking about the level
Okay.
of questions asked in your Lido interview, the questions around Lido.
So uh, basically they ask about basic like computer science data structure basics. Then in problem solving they ask medium level questions like on hashing or things like that. So basically medium level questions are very common in interviews, and like we have also been asking the other candidates on that same level.
All right. So can you hear that?
Hello.
Um, yeah, sort of. I guess your screen's freezed. Um, can you check your network once? So, yeah. Can you see us? I guess everybody in the audience. There's some network issues joining in again.
Sorry, guys. A bit of network problem is there, I guess.
No, no problem. No, absolutely all right.
So yeah, I was saying that in Lido also the medium level questions on, and they don't ask algorithms much, so they you can focus more on DS if you are preparing for Lido.
Okay. There's another question from Ganesh Gulati. He's asking what companies expect in aspects of technical skills from experienced candidates while applying for SDE roles where freshers apply too? So they're asking for guidance for experienced candidates. Do you have any knowledge around this?
So what companies expect in so basically, if you have experience, so your code quality should be different while writing the code from freshers. So that thing should be like looked for. Also, you should have a knowledge, a bit more knowledge of system design. So they don't ask much about the tech stacks they are working on, because people do work on different tech stacks in their career. And also, like, people do get switch a lot. So yeah, so they do, if you are applying for a specific, like in Java role or in Node.js role, then they can ask you about that role. But they will ask you more about the things that you have worked on. So in fresher, they just only ask the DS problems or problem solving. But in case of experienced candidates, they do ask some deep questions from that, the things that you have worked in previous organization or in previous projects.
Okay. Okay. Moving on to the next question, we have it from Vikas Rai. He's asking, while applying for SDE roles, can machine learning or data science projects give you an edge over others, since more people nowadays are working in this field? So, do you think?
In case of SD role, it doesn't work much. So ML or data science projects, they don't even discuss more about that in the interviews that you have worked on over there, because these fields need a lot of experience. So they will stick to the problem solving part more, or the projects in web development or something like that. This is what I have seen. Things might be different for different companies.
Okay. All right. There are a lot of questions around your technology or tech stack at Lido. So, what do you could you people know about your tech stack, your technology that you're working at Lido?
So talking about the tech stacks, so React is in the front end, then we use Postgres as our database. Then of course we have servers, which is based on Apollo framework and Node.js. We use GraphQL. We use a lot of AWS services like ECS, EKS, then Lambda. So these are all things. Then we use Hasura as GraphQL engine over database. So yeah, these are the tech stacks that we mostly work on.
All right. There's this very interesting question. What hard work is required post job accomplishment? So, once you've
Okay.
got your job, how much hard work is actually required?
So if you don't know anything like me, because I didn't know much about the web developments and how software development works, so I need to improve a lot of things. So I just improve my code quality, how people write code in organizations. So you can't take those variable names and all everything. The second thing, the code structure, you need to follow some design patterns and look into that you can understand over there. Also, like, things are, you will be working on very new technologies, and some of the technologies are so new that you can read only about your from documentation, and you can experiment at your own to like achieve the things that you want to achieve from that tech stack. So this is the quite challenging part, that people don't have like a very habit of like reading documentation, because they just search on YouTube. They just want to get videos from YouTube. But advancing in the technology, you will not get it on YouTube definitely. So yeah, you need to change a lot of habits while accomplishing that.
Totally. There is another question for a person who is shift. Okay. How can a civil engineer enter Scalar? Is it worth switching? We can guide them on. So to enter Scalar, basically there would be an entrance test. You got to appear for it. We'll be soon launching a new batch. So depending upon your graduation, here and the years of experience you hold, you can definitely be a part of Scalar. I think the second part of the question is for you: is it worth switching for somebody who's a civil engineer?
So it depends upon the interest that you possess in the field of computer science. So if it if you do like computers, you want to work in softwares, then of course it is worth switching. Otherwise, it is not. It is as simple as that.
Right, right. Okay. Personally, I have one request from you. If there is a, if you have to give an advice to all your fellow juniors or people who are your fellow batchmates from school, colleges, etc., or people who maybe your siblings, your friends, etc., what piece of advice would you give to them while they are approaching their tech careers?
So the few mistakes that I did, I switched a lot in lot of things, so which like somehow hampered the progress in the respective field. So I switched a lot between things. So I would advise to people to stick what they are doing, first of all, and be consistent in that. So this is the two thing that people miss a lot while doing something, because either they are not consistent or they are switching because every day a new idea or new thing will come into your mind and you will just get diverted to that. So this is the thing that I would like to advise to all my fellow juniors or everyone that who is listening, that better be stick to it and give time to grow. So that is because buildings will not be built in a day. So that's you need to be patient over there, and have a faith on yourself.
Right. There's one more question from Sunil Kumar Saurav. He's asking how you learn a new technology in public management.
I think this is the part of engineering life, that because I used to like give exams just reading before night, as most of the engineers do. So what I did, so I just prefer notes and just reading about that. So same things like in the school, since the school time, I am doing this. So this helped me a lot in learning new things in very short time, because I have mapped my things that how I want to proceed in that field. So this is the thing that I keep on check, that okay, I should be learning at quite good speed. So you can like prepare for, maybe you can take some time in learning that, and then you can grow with that. So it is a long journey that you can travel, and then you will be good in that, in learning things in very short period.
Right. All right. We are heading to the last segment of the interaction. Uh, in my opinion, I would really want to understand that if you had to summarize your journey with Scalar
Hello.
Academy, can you hear us? Sorry, can you hear me?
Hello.
You're audible this side. Yes, sir. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, you're audible this side. You're audible.
Okay.
So, before we head to your open mic or special poetry from your side, if you just have to describe your journey with Scalar Academy in probably a sentence or a couple of words, what do you think? How would you describe that?
So it has been like a game changer for me, like in my life. So like it's been like a lot of people I got to introduce with, a lot of people high in the tech industry. So all these things have grew, and I just got to, so the things that I have, So realizing self-worth, and of course the learning part. So these are the two important things that I got from Scalar Academy.
All right. We're really, really glad, honestly, to be a part and to be contributing in your journey. Honestly, you're really, really an inspiration. Um, I mean, I'm being agreed with Nishant, and he's there to support this, that he's much, much appreciated. The whole team, you're a gem, sort of. So, yeah, definitely,
Thank you,
definitely.
Nishant.
Uh, Also, I guess there is still one more question there. We'll take this up. It's B2. Do you think that tier 3 students should opt for MNC, not startup, because of the tag thing, so that they can prove themselves? Okay, this question really needs an address.
So I guess if so it depends, like if you value, so it's all about what is in your mind rather than what's in other people mind. So I have talked to Abhimanyu sir regarding that how tags matter and everything. So before college also I thought tag will matter very much. So I just like it was my mind and my thinking that okay, I can't get something without that tag. But with course of time, and as I am progressing and I am working with the peoples who are IITians and who are from very good colleges, so in that, and I am not like down with them. So this is the thing that I am looking for, that it depends upon the skill that you possess. If you believe on that okay, you can knock them out, so you don't need to bother about tag. But yeah, so that's the whole thing. It's all about your mindset, that getting into the big MNC might prove you, or maybe you can big your like you can build your own MNC from scratch, and that might prove you well. So it depends totally on the mindset. You want to be in Google, or maybe you can create the next Google.
Okay. I guess one of your friends, Himant, is congratulating you on your journey. So, yeah.
Thank you
Uh,
so much, Hemant.
all right. To the most exciting part here, all the stage to you, Saurav. We're looking forward to hear something written by you as an open mic. So, guys who've not really joined us very late, Saurav is also very active in open mics. He's been writing in both Hindi and Urdu, and he's been performing at some really good open mics. He's performed at Indie Habitat. He's performed at poems and kahaniya. So yeah, over to you, Saurabh. We're really excited this side.
So one piece that a shairi that I have written when I was just doing my preparation, I just got frustrated that okay, what I am doing, I don't know where to go, and I have just turned down like few offers, and I don't know where to go. So uh, this is the one thing that is so close to my heart. So I just remember. So it starts like this, that uh, होते तो सब है साजिशों का शिकार, होते तो सब है साजिशों का शिकार, दांव लगता है खुद को आजमाने के लिए, होते तो सब है साजिशों का शिकार, दांव लगता है खुद को आजमाने के लिए, ए जिंदगी तेरी किस्मत में मैं जीत का लिखता हूँ, ए जिंदगी तेरी किस्मत में मैं जीत लिखता हूँ, अपनी हार का किस्सा सुनाने के लिए, अपनी हार का किस्सा सुनाने के लिए. So this is a piece that is so close to my heart, that I have written in my very bad times kind of thing.
Not really beautiful. Wow. Do you have anything else to share? And one more piece is very beautiful. With one last, we can probably come to a conclusion with this webinar.
So one thing is, I guess there. So yeah. So one thing, that struggle is very important. So this is for that perspective, that जिंदगी और जज्बात में कितनी दूरी है, जिंदगी और जज्बात में कितनी दूरी है, एक ख्वाब पूरा करने में कई ख्वाहिशें अधूरी हैं. So this is it from my side.
All right, all right. It was awesome, awesome hosting you, Saurabh, genuinely. I had a really good time. I hope you too, and I'm
Yeah,
sure that people in the viewers also enjoyed and their doubts were resolved. All the very very best, Saurav. We're really proud to have you as a part of Scaler Academy, and all the very best. Looking forward to an amazing, amazing, and we wish you a very amazing career ahead. Yeah.
thank you so much, everyone, and thanks to Scalar Academy for hosting this session. And of course, like I am the part of the Scalar Academy, so this is the quite very proud moment for me also that I am part of something very big that is going to change the whole tech education in the industry. So that is very peaceful and very inspiration to have. So thank you all, thank you everyone,
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a very lovely evening. Thank you. Thank you,
thank you.
sir. Good night,
Okay,
everyone.
good night.